I'm actually pretty surprised how many people support net neutrality, because I thought that we were going into an age of libertarianism, an age where we were skeptical of government power. I mean, especially with Donald Trump's election, you think even the liberals who are so afraid of Donald Trump's administration wouldn't be so eager to support net neutrality, which is basically giving power to Trump's administration to oversee and regulate the internet. But what I've noticed as I've been observing the net neutrality phenomenon over the past few days and weeks is that a huge amount of the support and hype for net neutrality is coming from the gaming world, the gamer world, the video game world. And as I began to analyze it, it became very obvious. Despite me believing that we're going into a more libertarian world where people are skeptical of power, it made perfect sense why gamers playing 45 or more hours a week of video games would be the primary group, it seems, that's really pushing the hype behind net neutrality. And that's because it seems to me that video game addicts are the primary group that would be irrationally hyped up into a mob in order to get a superhero to sweep in and come save them. Maybe it's playing 45 plus hours a week of video games has conditioned your mind to really believe that superheroes exist. I guess saving the galaxy over and over again has got you thinking that if you, despite thinking the Trump administration is the new rise of Hitler and Nazi Germany in America, you still somehow believe it's a good idea to give the Trump administration the power to regulate and oversee the internet. That makes no sense, does it? Of course, the irony is that this Ajit guy, he's the new chairman of the FCC. He's a Trump-appointed dude. And he's basically just sort of a hardcore free market guy. It's ironic because people say, "Oh, Chris, but you support, the Trump administration. So you're pro-government. So why are you talking about people being pro-government when you're obviously pro-government, or you're not even really free market?" Well, the irony is that the FCC chairman appointed by Trump, the new dude, he says he wants to bring the internet back to a pre-Obama era where it was basically a wild, wild west of free and open creativity, where the internet was almost completely unregulated, which, by the way, it's what gave us all the great things about the internet. The great things about the internet didn't happen after 2015's Obama era internet regulations. In fact, after 2015, the internet started to descend into flames. YouTube started to explode. I mean, everything's gotten worse since 2015. If anything, before the internet regulations were put in for net neutrality in 2015, before that, the internet was fucking thriving. But it seems gamers are a big part of the push for it. And of course, the group of people that are addicted to video games and love the idea of going out to conquer the world while sitting on your ass all day staring at a screen, they are the ones who, because they're addicted to video games and because they're so dependent on this idea of accomplishing great things without having to actually do anything, gamers, video game addicts, are the ones who are particularly susceptible to the idea of net neutrality and passing a little law that's going to somehow magically save the internet. I hate to say it, man. I hate to say it, but I do think that gamers are a big part of the push. I really thought that the gaming crowd would be a lot more savvy to this. But they've swallowed it hook, line, and sinker. Oh, and you better not question net neutrality, because there's like 3 or 4 talking points for net neutrality. Talking point number 1 for net neutrality is that everybody supports it. Everyone supports net neutrality. Liberals, conservatives, right-wingers, left-wingers, everyone supports it. That's the first talking point. The second talking point is that there's no arguments against net neutrality. They just don't exist. The third talking point, these are all like manufactured talking points by the establishment that wants to kill the internet. They don't want a free and open internet. Net neutrality, if you want to get rid of the free and open internet, support net neutrality. The third talking point is, well, if you have any arguments against net neutrality, the only real argument is that you want to make more money for the corporations. And of course, the fourth argument, you guys want to know what the fourth argument against net neutrality is? The fourth argument against net neutrality is, I'll fucking kill you if you disagree. That's actually true, though. There was actually a congressman who was opposed to net neutrality, and he got some voicemail from some angry gamer. Listen to me, you take away my internet connection, and I'll go fucking crazy. What will I do with my life if I don't have 45 hours of video games a week? I'll fucking kill you, congressman. He literally left a voicemail saying, I'll kill you, congressman, if you take away my internet connection. No one's taking your internet connection, bro. If you want to see your internet connection go away, then support net neutrality. If you want to see your internet connection go away, support net neutrality. From the late 90s all the way up to 2014, we didn't have these crazy net neutrality era regulations. And the internet thrived. And people say, oh, there were one or two examples where one of the internet companies was throttling this or limiting this service. Yeah, you have like 10 cases over the span of like 20 years of the internet companies doing bad things. 10 little cases. And the 10 little cases were automatically corrected the moment that these instances were revealed. And the moment customers realized they were being fucked over and said, I'm going to the competitor who didn't fuck me over. But let's get rid of competitors. Let's have one giant internet company, basically owned and regulated by the government, essentially, because once you put it in the hands of the government, you know, it's funny. I saw a tweet yesterday where some moron Democrat thug, some elitist liberal, establishment liberal thug was like, net neutrality is going to help ensure a competition by creating a level playing field where everyone is equal. He literally said that. Net neutrality is going to foster competition by making everybody equal. Competition by definition means inequality. That's true, yeah, inequality. And that's the problem. That's the problem. People don't like a lot of people don't like net neutrality for the same reason they don't like fast passes at the fucking theme park. You know, when some people pay extra money to get in the line that skips everybody else? That's part of the reason people don't like that idea. A lot of people who support net neutrality are just communists who don't like the idea you can pay for faster internet. It's ridiculous, honestly. I can't believe this shit is getting all this hype. I'm shocked. But it makes perfect sense now because it's the gamers, the video game addicts. The video game addicts are particularly susceptible to the idea of a savior fixing their lives for them with just the snap of a finger, signing a stupid petition on the internet, saying we need net neutrality, and then having a bunch of random bureaucrats you never check in on to see what they're up to, managing your internet and regulating your internet. And that's exactly what a video game addict would want to hear. They'd want to hear that they can just sit down, keep playing 50 hours of video games a week, and not actually have to be actively engaged to preserve the internet that you love. And you know what? You know what actively engaged means? Allowing the people who actually provide the internet service, the companies, to run the show, not the government and bureaucrats who don't do internet services. You let the internet companies run the show, and then you, as a conscious, active consumer, chooses and votes with your dollar. Don't vote with a ballot. Vote with a dollar. That's way more effective. And people say, oh, but you voted for Trump. And if you say vote for your dollar, no, you don't vote with a ballot. Donald Trump was a massive step in the right direction in undoing the lethargic, inefficient, piece of shit government bureaucracy that we had in place. That's why, if anything, Donald Trump should have been always viewed by libertarians as a step in the right direction. Because you're putting a businessman into the inefficient, lethargic bureaucracy of government. That sounds like a way to jumpstart this inefficient machine and get it working a little bit better. And hey, look, Donald Trump, who did he appoint? Who did Donald Trump appoint as head of the FCC? Donald Trump appointed a dude who wants to bring the internet back to its original wild free market era days. So really, to me, the Trump administration is undoing the damage of a bureaucratic, thuggish, inefficient government. That's what it's really doing. So, yeah, I just think it's ridiculous. And, I'm still waiting for counter arguments down below, because there really are none, ironically, because they exist. You can give me a good counter argument, but I'm not hearing any. All I'm hearing is, you support the internet companies. You just want them to make more money. There are no arguments against net neutrality. I'll fucking kill you. Okay, guys, come on. So don't let your video game addiction get in the way of your ability to reason. If you love high quality internet, and if you love playing 45 hours of games a week, like you did for the past 20 years before net neutrality came along, then oppose net neutrality. If you want to see the death of the internet, if you want to see the death of the free and open internet, support net neutrality.